Yo, what's up? It's me, John Paul Kersey. Welcome everybody to my channel, and I hope you enjoy this YouTube video on the Canon EOS R. It's the EF to RF variable ND drop-in filter, and I love this thing. Hands down, it's wicked for photography, it's wicked for videography, and hands down, I just love it. It's the coolest thing I've ever had for a camera, an attachment that I can use lenses on, and I'm able to basically change my exposure without actually changing the settings. So I can lock in my settings and then use it and then roll with that. So I'm gonna show you those clips. This Canon EF RF adapter, this is a must-have accessory. This is one of my favorite accessories. And the cool thing about it is that you can pull it out. You can see this here. That's what comes out of the adapter, and it has a built-in variable ND filter. And you can control it by a little rolly thing here, and it goes from 1 stop to 9 stops. Now, I'm gonna demonstrate, let's get this back in here. I'm gonna demonstrate what it looks like at 9 stop, because that's the only con about this EF to RF adapter with a variable ND filter. The only con is that when you're at stop 9, it goes blue contrast out of nowhere. I don't know why they did that, but if you're gonna use like a 10 stop filter for really slow like bulb mode or slow shutters, then you're gonna wanna use a 10 stop filter and just buy one that's separate. But you can still get slow waterfalls, and I've yet to do it, but you can get some good shots with this, and this makes life a hell of a lot easier. Even if you're not into just video, you can be into photography like myself. And when I'm outside and I got a client that's, you know, it's right in the middle of the day, because the most clients want to book in the middle of the day for some reason, you can just crank up that variable ND, and when you do, there goes the sun. And then you have this beautiful thing. You can still get that lower shutter speed or fast shutter speed, or you can, you know, you don't really have to make any changes inside the Canon EOS R or the RP. You can just flick that little dial and there goes your exposure, and you can set it accordingly with the settings that you feel comfortable with. So you're not always changing settings all the time. You can set your settings to how you want your pictures to be, unless you want to change with that aperture. But it's kind of nice for a photographer too. It's not, if you want to make that blue sky not blow out because it's overcast and it's in the middle of the day, then, you know, you crank up that variable ND and it looks beautiful. And not only can, the only downside to this is that when you take this out, if you don't want that 1 stop, then it's a big huge gap right here. Big massive gap. And that gap is nasty. Looks like my first girlfriend's teeth. No, I'm joking. But anyways, yeah. So basically, you can get a circular polarizer to fit in this, which is a beautiful thing. I've yet to get it. It's rather pricey. It's like $350 just for a piece of glass. I think it should have came with it, but that's cool with me. I'll eventually buy it, because circular polarizers are cool if you want to reduce that glare off, like a car. If you're in auto photography, or if you're into taking pictures of landscapes, sometimes you want to reduce the glare off the water, and sometimes you want to reduce the glare off certain things, and that circular polarizer would come in very handy. And the beauty about this EF to RF adapter variable ND is that you can use it on any lens. You don't have to buy a million variable ND filters. You can just keep this on. It attaches to the EOS R right here, and then you attach your EF lens right there. And believe me, I use Sigma, I've used Tamron, I've even used lots of Canon lenses. They all perform beautifully on the EOS R. That's the most question I ever see, is does EF lenses perform beautifully on the EOS R? And yes, and sometimes better. So this is the EOS R with the EF to RF adapter with the variable ND. This is at the lowest port of the variable ND, and this is at minimum ND, and this is at shooting at 1/50th of a second for my shutter at f1.4 and ISO 400, and I'm shooting at 24 frames per second in 4K with C-Log. So basically, while I'm recording, This is the lowest ND, so when I slowly boost it up, you can see it. It goes up very slowly. And I'm very slowly boosting it up. It's a very sensitive dial, but I kind of like it, so you don't have to force it or anything, and you have a lot of control. It doesn't just move on its own, which I'm thankful for. I've shot with it a bunch of times, and it doesn't just move on its own. So pretty much the whole ND varium is very useful. And then when I go up to the max, which is that, and then you get this blue cast in the sky. Now, that blue cast is on the maximum. So just you don't really need to go up to the maximum, but that's just to let you know that you do get a blue cast at maximum. So when you go lower, still have a little bit of blue, but it's not the blue hour or anything. And this, it's about 6:30 p.m. And see, you can still see the exposure of the sky, and it looks pretty good. And you can adjust it very easily. And it's perfect to get the look that you want. Even in photography, I've used this in my last YouTube session, and I was able to adjust it with the variable ND with 85 Sigma art on it, and I got wicked photos with it without really having to adjust my exposure. In camera, I can just adjust the ND, and it looks pretty cool, and it's very convenient, and it makes shooting running and gunning style very easy. So this is at 1.4, guys, so if I go up to, I can really control it, and this is with a shallow depth of field. And this is the f1.4 in the crop mode in 4K, so I think it looks pretty good. And that's at the lowest, and then like, this is how fast you can move it. Max, low, max, and that's the blue cast. Then I look at it pops out of the blue cast pretty good. Okay, this is with a Sigma 28mm f1.4 art lens, and it's with the EOS R and the variable EF to RF adapter and variable ND. And this is with me, the ND, probably about halfway, a little bit less than halfway, and this is what you get. And this, cause it's pretty bright out, it's about 6 o'clock in the summertime, and I get a nice rich colors behind me, and I'm nice and rich too, so it looks kind of nice. Looks pretty good. I'm gonna turn up my variable ND just a little bit. Kind of get my variable ND in here, turn it up so you can kind of see the highlights of the grass and stuff. Yeah, it looks pretty good. And then I got I have my my white balance showing, so I can see how it looks. So far, this is what I'm gonna do. I got shutter at 250, aperture 2.8, and ISO 100. And with my electronic viewfinder, I can see that it's pretty good. I like it. And I got the variable ND, so I can basically see my exposure with the electronic viewfinder on the EOS R. Okay, so with the variable ND, I don't really have to adjust my exposure that much. I might want to actually bump up my ISO just a little bit. And there, now I got the variable ND. There, that's nice. Smell the flowers? With like, oh, put your head up. Like that, yeah. Thanks everybody for watching my channel. Like, share, and subscribe. But also, there's a big also here. The also is, with this EF to RF adapter with the variable drop-in ND filter, I love it. I hope you enjoyed this video. And this video is kind of really a segment of a couple YouTube videos slewed together, just so you can kind of get a feel of what the EF to RF adapter really is all about with the blue Chromecast and all that stuff. So I showed you kind of some sample photos, and I showed you some video work, and I also showed you what it's like with blue cast. So I hope you really enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching everybody. Ciao.